about this defense in general?
I think one of the biggest parts that makes me confident is our closeness. I think that, we have some returning people and new players, and I think even with that, we've meshed really well as a group. And I think that's one of the most important parts of a good defense, trust and being close with each other. And I think that we have that and are continuing to build it. So knowing that we're only in spring right now makes me extremely confident in our defense.
You're a young guy, but there's a lot of guys that came in here, younger guys, and transfers. I mean, what's the competition been like, just with some of the younger players coming up and the transfers you guys added?
Yeah, I mean, you want a competitive room. You want a lot of players that can be on the field. I think it pushes everybody to be better every day. And I think even in that competition, there's still love with each other. And I think that also makes it so that, when somebody else has a success, the other players that play that position aren't upset about it. They're happy about it, and it makes it drives and motivates them to want to succeed as well. So, we've got a great room, a lot of talented players. And, there's daily competition to make each other better.
You just think back to when you first arrived in Nebraska, just what have you got better at? What's really separated you as the player that you are now?
I think just my knowledge of the game has increased. I think that being around coaches like Coach Butler, have him being somebody from the NFL, having so much experience, has allowed me to, kind of just be a sponge and listen to him and understand things so that, the things on the field slow down and I'm starting to see things before they happen. So I think that's one of the biggest aspects that I've improved upon is just, my understanding of all the concepts within football.
How beneficial was this offseason, whether that was winter conditioning so far this spring? How has that helped you in that aspect?
Yeah, I think that I was really intentional about, film watching during this offseason. Obviously during the season you watch a lot of film, you watch and prepare. But this time I watched a lot of the stuff that had already happened, and watched just other games of other people playing as well. And I think that, when you start to watch film just on a regular basis, you kind of start to pick up, things just that you might not have noticed before. Or if you watch, like Coach Butler says, like he'll watch practice, then he'll come back and watch it again, and then the next day he'll watch it again, and then he'll watch it again. It's like every time you notice something different. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like watching a movie. Like you could go watch a movie, and you might not notice that reference the first time, but you notice it the second time. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like getting that chance to watch film more often than not has allowed me to, kind of notice things that I didn't notice before.
What makes facing this offense challenging? Your Nebraska offense.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of weapons, a lot of explosive weapons, and I think that they're putting us in positions where we have to compete, and just having all those talented people on the other side of the ball, keeps you on your toes every day.
What do you think was key about your mindset in arriving like you did, kind of late summer, and fitting in as fast as you did, and to where you are now?
Yeah, I was very, very grateful to be here. It was a blessing of an opportunity, and so I think just having that mindset allowed me to fit in naturally. Just knowing that I was coming in I was hoping to play, but knowing that I wasn't playing the first few games, and just being a star in the role that I did have, trying to execute and stand out on special teams or whatever packages I was in. And I think that by doing that, I was able to kind of sit back and watch who was on the field and see where I would fit into the defense. And I think that garnered respect from my teammates, and it allowed me to, learn and be able to fit in once I got out there.
What have you thought about some of the guys who also came from the portal this past offseason, Deshaun Marquise, those Andrew Marshall, how they've went about their business trying to do what you did?
Yeah, I think that the staff does a great job of bringing players in that fit well into the team. I think that players like Deshaun and Marquise jumped in, and it was like they were already here. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they're very open about asking questions and learning the defense. But I think that the fact that we all spend time with each other off the field allows us to get closer with each other so that we can build that on-field chemistry.
Have you pursued any acting jobs or anything since you've been in Nebraska, or have you kind of put all that on hold?
No, I haven't pursued any acting jobs, but I have a class this semester where I have to find an internship. So I'm currently interning at Fallen Giant Productions, and so I've been, kind of just to go over there, see the things that they're filming, see the things that they're producing. They're trying to build up the film industry in Nebraska. They're based in Omaha, and so I've gotten a chance to be on set with Randy Goodwin. He's a director. Just sitting and watching his process, and it's been cool because I have experience on camera, but this is my chance to kind of be behind the camera and see how things work. So that's what I've been up to in my free time.
What do you like about the production side?
I think I like the creation. I think that I've always been able to, see a character, see what it is, and add my value to it. But when you're creating a story, you're starting from scratch. And I think like being able to see somebody's vision come to life is very cool. So yeah.
You were a guy who transferred late in the process last year. Can you just kind of describe the mindset of guys that are going to be making that decision now here in the next month or so as well? What was that like for you? What are these guys going through now that are thinking about moving?
You said just describe the mindset. Yeah, I think that transferring, you got to just make sure you're going into a place that is right for you. You know what I'm saying? I think that whatever decision that is made from whoever it is, just you're going into a new place, so just be prepared to work hard and try to get in where you fit in, learn the scheme, learn the players. Yeah.
Probably already answered this, but how would you compare the physicality of a Nebraska practice with Matt Rule and John Butler to what you were doing at USC?
Yeah, I think that physicality is definitely preached very push forward here. I think that's one of the aspects of being in the Big Ten. You see a lot more, running and stuff like that. The corners are expected to be in the run game a little bit more, and I think that that you see that in the practices. And I think that I'm happy about it because that was kind of one of the things that I had to develop in my game, and I think I've been intentional about that this spring. And so, yeah, I definitely see the physicality show up a lot in practices.
The tackling workouts that you guys have to do, the physicality that's involved, not using a lot of bags, but, bodying up guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, in the game, you're not tackling a bag, and so I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to get real live reps in practice because those are the best ones that translate.
How much have you had a chance to take some of those guys, like whether it's Andrew or even like the players who were freshmen last year, like Donovan Jones or Mario Buford, and take them under your wing a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's less of taking anybody under my wing. It's just all of us really just pushing to go to the same goal. At the end of the day, we have a goal to be a great secondary and a great unit. And I think that from seniors to freshmen, that's the plan, and that's what we're going to do. And so I think that everybody's bought into that. We're on the field some days just by ourselves, working on our technique, or in the film room as a collective, watching film and seeing how we see things. And so I think that me knowing that it's my last year, I know that I'm putting in as much work as I can to develop myself as a player. And I think making sure that I give those opportunities and let other players know about those opportunities has allowed for people to, try to elevate their game as well.
Thanks, Ceyair.
Thank you, guys.